I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Orthodontics is a really special thing for me. I came into the field of orthodontics actually probably almost before I was born, since I have sort of evolved through a dental dynasty. My grandfather was actually a dentist and had practiced some orthodontics before there were actually some orthodontic programs, and my dad followed through and was actually in the University of North Carolina's second orthodontic class, and to graduate from there, and he actually developed into a very well-known orthodontist throughout the world. And so I always saw, I guess one of the key things with them was I always saw my dad have a really good time. You know, when he came home at night, he never complained about work or being at work, and he loved it. It was a passion for him, and that gave me just a real opportunity to see that orthodontics was a means not only to a great lifestyle, but also a way to serve the community, a way to be in the health profession, which is great, and also a way to have a lot of fun. And so therefore I went to the University of North Carolina as an undergraduate, and then dental school and orthodontics, and so I started practice in Hickory, North Carolina in 1982. So I've been here for, will be 29 years this August, and started from scratch. And at the time I started, it was a tough time. There were the unemployment's bad now. It was not too great right then, but also interest rates were 15, 16%, and that's what my first loans were, with interest rates like that. So I sort of laugh when they say that interest rates are what they are now, or that they're getting higher, because relative to when I started, it was just, you know, a much different scenario. Started from scratch, went into a small building, my wife and I, and we waited for patient number one to come in the door. I thought that probably I wasn't the brightest at that time, because otherwise I would have been terrified at what I was really doing. But ignorance is bliss in some cases, and for me that was probably true. But the philosophy that I've always had in practice is probably what I still have, and that is that if you treat people right and you provide a good service and an above average service, and you follow basically the golden rule, do unto others as that you would have them do unto you, you're going to be successful. And that's how I started. So I waited for patient one to come in the door, and then patient two and patient three, and that first year we got through that. And as the practice continued to evolve, obviously, as there were more patients, practice became busier, and we evolved to where we are today. An associate into the practice 5 years ago, and now have the opportunity to enjoy my practice with someone else. One of the central cores of our practice, as I said, has always been service. And we have a very faith-based practice where Christian principles are very important to us in how we deal with our patients that come in. We try to provide a very personal experience for patients and do a lot of fun things in our practice with games and just a lot of different type activities that involve the patients. And in today's time now, we're even getting involved with Facebook and some things like that, which if you grew up when I did, when computers didn't even exist, and I still remember my first Texas Instrument handheld calculator that was about $100 at that time. I mean, it's changed a lot. So technology has been fun relative to having your practice grow as well. We have the opportunity in orthodontics to serve people, and it's a great environment. It's a fun environment, because most people that come in to see us are looking to improve themselves. And one of the most gratifying things is that when we improve a smile, we improve much more than just a dental condition. We improve more than just straightening some teeth. For a lot of these kids and adults that we treat, we actually create a whole nother attitude for them about themselves, about their self-esteem, and what they experience in life. And that's just gratifying. We have the opportunity to see some kids that come in and won't smile and sort of put their hands over their mouths and, you know, are always sort of down, and then we end up with a child or teenager or adult that's just ecstatic. I always remember one of my early patients was a 70-year-old woman who had a large space between her front teeth, and her whole life she wanted this space closed. And so we went into some partial treatment and closed the space, and when we finished with her, you would have thought she was 25 years old. She was one of the happiest patients I've ever seen, and still is to this day. I've kept her on recall for some 30 years just because I like to see her. And so it's just a great opportunity to you know, provide that kind of happiness for somebody, as well as a service we provide. Another fun thing about orthodontics is that it combines a lot of different things. It combines biology, it combines engineering, it combines art. There's a lot of aspects about it which makes it exciting. And the fun that my dad experienced years ago is still true today. It's a great profession. You control your own time. Fortunately, we don't fall under the influence of a lot of third parties like a lot of other industries do at the present time, especially the medical profession. Unfortunately, none of my kids decided to go into orthodontics. They all went different directions, but that's okay. That's okay. We didn't push that too hard. So we are in a position here where we really like to serve people. We pride ourselves in individualized treatment. We don't just have a cookie cutter type approach where everybody comes in and gets the same thing. It's very individualized here. I would say that Dr. Herring, my associate, and I, we spend much more personal time with patients than most practices do. And that's our philosophy. Is that a real efficient way? No, it's probably not the most efficient thing in the world, but that's one of our values. Our value is getting to know patients. That's the other thing about orthodontics that is really cool, is that we treat people for, usually a period of 2 years period of time. So during that period, we really get to know patients. And it's not you're here and have a procedure done and you're out and we don't see you. Again, we really have the opportunity to develop relationships. And we've always emphasized with our staff and with ourselves that there's a lot of things going on in kids' lives and in teenagers' lives and in adults' lives as well. And it also provides us with an opportunity to sometimes reach beyond the field of orthodontics. There's people that are dealing with personal issues, with family members that are maybe having health problems, with deaths and things like that. And it gives us an opportunity to sort of reach out to them in some different ways. And sometimes that's just a hand on the shoulder. It's just taking some time with them and taking that time to sort of help them to, deal with some issues that we have. We begin our practice day with a morning huddle. And one of the key aspects of that morning huddle is we finish the huddle with a prayer. And that's very important to us, to get ourselves centered into the day, that we're servants, number one, to God, and that therefore that's how we like to be to our patients as they come in. And that's a key value to our practice and what we do. I think that it's a growth process. There's a lot of ups and downs, like in any business. We have a lot of ups and downs with employees, ups and downs with management, ups and downs with the things we encounter every day. And I think that that's another thing that I've learned. The things that used to bother me when I started practice 28 years ago don't seem so big now, because you sort of learn what's important. And it takes some time to do that, and some maturity over the period of time to decide what's important, what's not important, and where to put your emotions. Basically, I tend to like everything right all the time. Life isn't quite that way. So I've learned to deal with those sort of issues. So it's a growth process, and it's been an exciting growth process, and it continues to be one. I think that we've had some experiences in our practice that have been really gratifying, and probably one of the most gratifying was a family that came in, and a father came into the exam room with his 2 daughters, and this father was dying of cancer. And it was a situation where the family, he could not afford orthodontic treatment. But his last wish, or his make-a-wish, as I say with these kids, was that his daughters be treated orthodontically. And that's just a blessing. It's a blessing that I had the opportunity to fulfill a wish for him. And so we put braces on his 2 daughters, and it was only 4 days after we sat in that exam room that he passed away. And so the regret is he never got to see his daughter's smiles, except I'm sure he's in heaven looking down and seeing his daughter's smiles all the time. And it's the type of thing where basically when we finished with treatment, his daughters gave me a plaque at the end of treatment. And this plaque, sometimes you treat kids in situations like that really aren't, they're a little bit appreciative. These girls knew what we had done for them. And the plaque reads, "Thank you, Dr. Hamilton, for making our dad's dream for us come true." After losing our dad, you gave us something to smile about, all our love and appreciation. And that's what practice is all about. And that's what, our Hamilton and Herring Orthodontics, that's really what we're about, is that type of experience and what we can offer to people. I think that one of the things I've learned through practice years is that we're very blessed. As an orthodontist, we're very blessed in what we do, and to have the opportunity to do what we do. And we, in turn, have an obligation to share that blessing, with others and with our community. And that's one of the things that we enjoy. I think another lesson that I appreciate through the years of practice is that because there are a lot of ups and downs, John Gardner, I think in his book on excellence, had a quote that I always remember. And the quote goes something like, "Oftentimes, trials are opportunities in disguise." And that's something I've learned with practice. The tough times, stuff like that, it's really an opportunity in disguise. Because that's when you really get in and you evaluate yourself, you evaluate how you deal with situations, whether it's employees, whether it's patients that have come in, whether it's particular circumstances, and you try to grow from it, because you're never going to do it exactly right. And that's exciting too. It's exciting that we have the opportunity to deal with so many things. So I think over the years, the 28 years, and hopefully quite a few more years here, that we'll continue to have the opportunity to have a thriving practice, and a practice that's pretty patient-based, and that we can continue to provide blessings for the community, and in turn that provides a blessing for us.